Welcome to the program. This is the first news bulletin on the Joy News channel. Details now. Now, the NPP running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, promises to support his boss to execute a formidable campaign, offering after the official announcement yesterday. There's more as the NPP is confident the duo is a sure ticket for victory. In a statement released, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh said he is committed to providing unflinching support to the presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to prosecute the agenda of breaking the eight. And the statements excerpts from the statements reads, I'm deeply honored today as the chosen running mate of the New Patriotic Party. I am humbled to be nominated by a distinguished flag bearer, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and endorsed unanimously by the National Council in accordance with the provisions of the NPP Constitution. I'm privileged and duty-bound to extend my full support to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as we work together to realize his visionary agenda of propelling Ghana to greater heights. I view this nomination as part of God's plan for my life, and I am grateful for his guidance in directing my path. I pray for his ongoing guidance as I move forward. I consider this nomination as a call to higher service, a call to sacrifice, and a call and a duty to perform. The NPP is enriched with numerous astute personalities. Therefore, I recognize the significance of my selection and do not take it lightly. I call upon all members to join hands as we collectively strive to achieve our ambitious goal of transforming Ghana into a prosperous nation. And those are just excerpts of the statements that the running mate of the NPP released yesterday on the back of his announcement as the pair to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ahead of elections 2024. In other stories, Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, has affirmed the readiness of the police to oversee the December 7th general elections, promising a proactive approach to election security. Speaking at the inauguration of the Eminent Persons Group 2024, the IGP highlighted the success of the police in ensuring violence-free elections, voter registration, and vote transfer exercises with competence and diligence. Dr. Dampare expressed confidence that the same level of security and professionalism will be maintained for the 2024 general elections, aiming for a peaceful process with no loss of life.
In recent years, the Christian Council of Ghana has consistently assembled a group of prominent religious leaders to engage key stakeholders in promoting peace before, during and after the elections. Inspector General of Police Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare expressed confidence that no lives would be lost in this year's elections. He assured Ghanaians that they could feel secure as the police enforce security measures appropriately, being tough when necessary and lenient when appropriate.
We are ready. We're ready, and we've been ready for years, because we have institutionalized and mainstreamed election security for the first time in the history of this country, where elections, and that is a message we also want to send to the good people of this country, for them to be at peace with themselves, individually and collectively, and be assured that we are on top of the game. Where we need to act soft, we will act soft. Where we need to act tough, we will act tough.
He also urged the new eminent persons not to only encourage and motivate the police, but to provide constructive criticism as needed.
Have our back by encouraging us and motivating us, because the work we do is hard. And having our back, we are not asking for pampering beyond what is constructive. And we are asking that where you need to criticize us, both in private and in public, do so, because we feel that that is the best way to go.
In his address, General Secretary of the Christian Council, Reverend Dr. Cyril Fayose, stated that the Eminent Persons Group would tackle critical issues such as vote buying and the use of religious and ethnic affiliations to influence voters.
As an Eminent Persons Group, we vehemently must condemn the use of money to buy votes during both intra and inter-party elections, as it is unethical and undermines the freedom and justice we seek in our nation. The second critical issue is the use of religious or ethnic affiliations to influence voters. The eminent persons group must confront attempts to inflame religious or ethnic passions, leading to chaos in the society.
Deputy Chair of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Eric Bosman Asari, declared that the EC is fully prepared to conduct this year's elections. He assured that the Commission would ensure a peaceful election by strictly adhering to rules and regulations throughout the electoral process. He then provided a detailed breakdown of activities leading up to the elections.
As far as the Electoral Commission is concerned, the institution is fully ready for the 2024 elections. We also work with the political parties. The political parties will send their agents throughout the entire exercise. And whilst printing the ballot, they are required to be there from the beginning to the end. Nothing is done without the political parties. Before December 7, we will have the special voting on December 2nd. Then 5 days later, we have the elections on December 7th.
Fraternal messages were given by stakeholders present, committing to their roles in ensuring peace prevails, dedicated to preventing conflicts before, during, and after the elections.
Upper West Regional Director of the Upper West Regional Hospital, Dr. Robert Amesia, will bring you that report now.
Stephen Yakubu's maiden visit to the Upper West Regional Hospital is to acquaint himself with the operations of the facility, see the challenges they are facing with a view to help fix them. It was conducted around the 226-bed hospital by orthopedic surgeon and medical director, Dr. Robert Amesia.
The first time the region is getting a mammogram is when this hospital was put up. So we cannot afford the mammogram not to be working. Intensive care unit, ICU, it is only in this hospital in the region that when you are critically ill, there are facilities like ventilators and CPAP to keep you alive. And it showed during the COVID era that if this hospital wasn't there, it would have been very difficult for this region had it not been this hospital, because as if the hospital was planned to take up the COVID challenge.
The state-of-the-art Upper West Regional Hospital started operations in January 9, 2020, almost 5 months after it was commissioned by President Akufo-Addo. Mind you, this is a hospital that was supposed to start operations attending to only outpatients without seed capital and with a couple of rickety vehicles for its transportation needs. Due to the ingenuity of the management of the hospital, however, they have been able to meander their way out, leaving them shy of the transportation challenges.
The current Minister for Health, who used to be the CEO for National Insurance Authority, visited us, and we cried that at least having 1 or 2 vehicles for a big hospital like this is not too much, especially 4 years. We've had to rely on the Regional Health Directorate, and they have so many public health programs. When you need a vehicle from there to do something, they are either in Tumu or in Nandom or in Wechau doing one thing or the other. And as a father of the region, we also need your support, especially in the areas of the vehicles. We don't need V8 Land Cruisers, we just need pickup vehicles, so that if we have to pick our medications and other things. Officers travel in public transports, they get broken down on the road, and I think it is not helping.
Another operational challenge the hospital used to face was the huge monthly electricity bills, which forced VRA NEDCO to one time disconnect power supply to the facility. The hospital, upon its completion, was not energy efficient. Every scintilla of space at the hospital, including the verandas and corridors, were fixed with centralized air conditioners. The status quo for now has been changed, and the monthly bills of power reduced by 62%, according to Dr. Robert Amesia.
Our hospital was consuming 1.2 million cedis a month. And if you look at the bulbs here, we have had to change the tubes to energy-saving bulbs in the whole hospital. Areas where doors are always opened were air-conditioned. We had to ensure that fans were put there. So we managed to reduce our energy consumption from 1.2 million a month to around 500,000. And it should have been around 300,000, but for the taxes, it's around 500. So we've been able to, by re-engineering, reduce our energy consumption by 62%.
The issue of erratic power supply to the hospital still remains an albatross hanging on their necks, which sometimes destroyed their equipment. Dr. Robert Amesia is suggesting for a dedicated power line for the hospital to save their equipment.
The load of the hospital is so high that we can't even be added to the main town here. So we are on the Nadole, Laura, Grapple, Nandong line. And that line is said that even when wind blows small, it power fluctuates. So I don't know, is it not possible to go back to that discussion? Or if all your ventilators in the region are in this hospital, the only CT scan of the region is in this hospital, the only mammogram in the region is in this hospital, the only ventilators for pediatrics and CPAPs are in this hospital. Is it not good enough to protect those equipment? And I think we might have to go back to that discussion of the dedicated power line, not for enjoyment, but for protection of the equipment.
Our Power Soldier Minister, Stephen Yakubu, having had a whistle stop in all wards, departments, and offices at the hospital, climaxed his visit with a meeting with staff of the hospital. He assured them of the support of the Upper Osunya Coordinating Council in helping to resolve their challenges.
For me, as a regional minister, what I will do is to fight for you, is to help you to maintain what you already have in terms of logistics, in terms of any problems. I've met medical director and administrator, and they have informed me the things that the hospital really needs. I am going to fight for that. I'm going to see what I can do as a minister, because no one knows when we need your services.
Reporting for Dre News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Apologies for that hitch. It was a technical hitch, but the report we brought to you was from the Upper West region, and the regional director of the regional hospital was disclosing that the hospital has been able to reduce the electricity intake by 62%. Now, in other stories, the Ghana Health Service is urging the eligible population in the country to get vaccinated for COVID-19 for the virus to be completely stamped out. According to the Ghana Health Service, many people are yet to be vaccinated, and this poses a serious risk or health risk to the population. Addressing a news conference in Cape Coast, Deputy Director of Public Health in the Central Region, Dr. Jojo Kobina, urged residents to take advantage of the vaccination drive being embarked upon by the Ghana Health Service.
COVID-19 is still with us, and as a region, we still have about 31% of eligible people who have not taken any of the vaccines. And our target is that we are trying to ensure that at least a minimum of 70% people, eligible people, get vaccinated. So our drive today is to inform as many people as possible for them to come for the vaccination. And that the vaccination is happening from the 3rd of July to 7th of July. And the eligible people are people from 18 years and above. It is happening in all the 22 districts in the Central Region. And that we are coming to all the churches, mosques, marketplaces, schools, clinics, hospitals, and any like lorry stations and the rest. So we should endeavor to meet our vaccination teams at these places to take their vaccine. That the disease is still with us. Secondly, people need to appreciate the fact that by taking a vaccine, you are protecting yourself and protecting your brother. So we aim to achieve reach out to over 70% of the population. If we get to 100, that is good, so that we are able to completely eradicate. Not eradicate, because as a future plan, the country is trying to integrate COVID vaccination as part of the routine vaccination that we have in the country. So eventually, to be part of what we do regularly, it's not like occasional national immunization days that we do. It will be part, maybe 6 monthly, yearly, based on whether you have an underlying condition or you are predisposed to, or maybe, so that will determine whether you take it yearly or you take it 6 monthly. It depends on the.
Children under 10 years in Adotakope in the Agoti-Maziope district of the Volta region are unable to access basic education due to the lack of an educational facility in the community. According to residents, the unavailability of a school hinders physical and human resource development of the community. Fred Kwame Asare was in the community and filed the following report.
Adotakope is a remote community situated on the boundaries of the Agoti-Maziope district in the hinterlands. Inhabitants here are predominantly farmers who support their livelihood with proceeds from the sales of their produce and animals. Children born in this community are denied their right to education during the early stages of their lives. They must wait until they are about 10 years to begin going to school because they would have to travel about 5 kilometers to another community.
Ela ba suku ko mela osio ata ne vi de vio na pa mabu e vote pa ike ole suku yi la ha edidi
mi agbo de suku mali de vio la fu pa wo so ka gbe shaka e chila no fu chila fu ka bi ofo ko ba ta de viro ko no ko de tenju gbo suku ko gbo ko musu ko damu du ko agdi ko ser moji ne yo kwa ko gbo suku ta suku de viro ko pa za ko musu damu.
However, an initiative by the Member of Parliament for Agoti-Maziope, Charles Agbeve, seeks to bring education closer to the children of Adotakope. With support from the GET Fund and the MP's Common Fund, he is constructing a 2-unit classroom block with an office to start a school in the community.
It's unfortunate we have to wait this long for the children of Adotakope to have easy access to education, but it's better late than never. At least those who are fortunate now will get it. This academic year, we must start this kindergarten. This is just for kindergarten. We will need to at least build the lower primary from class 1 to class 3, or what they are trying to call now basic 1 to basic 3. And to do that will mean if I could use 5 years to start this, if I want to start it, it will take me another number of years. And so I welcome any well-wisher or well-wishers, any company, any CSO, or any NGO, or any company that wants to support me with its corporate social responsibility. I'll be welcome, will be welcomed.
The residents hope the classroom block will be completed early for the school to take off in the 2024-2025 academic year. Fred Kwame Asare, Joy News, Adotakope.
From Adotakope, let's go to Winneba now. The Ghana Tertiary Education Commission is asking tertiary institutions across the country to tailor their academic programs to address both national and international challenges confronting society. Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, Professor Ahmed Jinapo Abdullahi, says the university programs must help to push for solutions as illegal mining affecting the country's water sources, youth unemployment, and indiscipline have become an albatross on the neck of the country. He was speaking at the University of Education, Winneba's School of Education and Lifelong Learning Leadership Program. There's more in this report.
Education and lifelong learning at the University of Education Winneba, in their effort to improving learning outcomes, has laid emphasis on leadership. And in order to realize this, the National Professional Education Leadership Qualification Curriculum Framework was developed. Speaking at the launch of the Professional Education Leadership Program at the university, Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, Professor Ahmed Jinapor, called on the universities to fashion up programs aimed at resolving the myriad of challenges confronting the Ghanaian society.
How our educational architecture, especially the tertiary educational framework, is able to prepare and position our graduates to confront such challenges, for me, is the bane of transformative education. Today, Ghana is bedeviled with high level of indiscipline, incessant road traffic nuisance, illegal mining being an affront to potable drinking water, incurable corruption perception, and albatross youth unemployment. The list goes on and on. How prepared are our universities in preparing its students to deal with these challenges and many others? This, I believe, is what the Professional Educational Leadership Program is interested in. For us as a commission, we will continue to work towards the attainment of our vision of ensuring equitable access to relevant, and I must say, relevant with emphasis, world-class tertiary education. The policies that we formulate, as well as the accreditation environment that we manage, aim at providing the enabling platform for the advancement of transformative education by our clientele.
Launching the program, the Dean of the School of Education and Lifelong Learning at the university, Professor Hene Kusi, indicated how the school intends to improve educational outcomes through leadership.
I'm glad to announce or inform you that out of the 7 institutions mandated to develop the programs, EW, our prestigious institution, is one of the 2 institutions to have their programs approved and accredited by GTEC in November 2023. So we've been given the approval to train aspiring and practicing leaders for our educational institutions.
The Director of General Administration at the Ghana Education Service, who represented the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Justina Jagba, applauded the school and the university for the vision in instituting programs geared towards improving educational outcomes.
The Ghana Education Service has a great history and relationship with the University of Education, Winneba, and we are pleased that the PELP you are launching today aligns with our current programs and interventions. We at the Ghana Education Service believe that teachers play a crucial role in transforming the education system and bringing about effective learning outcomes. These standards have been developed as a professional tool to guide teacher educators, teachers, student teachers, and other stakeholders in education in clearly and precisely identifying what teachers are expected to know and be able to do, what qualities they are expected to possess, and what behaviors they are supposed to exhibit.
The Professional Educational Leadership Program was officially launched.
Business Update is up next with Benjamin Akakbo.
Welcome to our business updates for today. Now, former Finance Minister Seth Terker has warned that the next government to assume office in 2025 will grapple with a significant debt burden. At a recent media briefing on Ghana's economic outlook, Mr. Terker highlighted that the nation's reserves and financial buffers, which are essential for economic stability, have been exhausted.
But we don't have features of this program, which we shall see, which is nothing more than, kicking the can, to future generations and to future governments. And therefore, we think that the enthusiasm should be tempered, and also given the sacrifice, particularly of domestic, investors and vanquishing of our capital market opportunities. It will take us some time, from even the scarce data that we have, to get to these points. The path to domestic and external financial markets remain blocked. And as we shall see, if all we are going to be achieving by 2028, 2029 is 68% approximately of debt, that means that unless we are able as a condition to, between 2026 and 2028 in particular, we are able to clear the humps that have been created, then I'm afraid the dependence on treasury bills and short-term notes would worsen the situation.
And that's it for our business update for today. Handing over to the red corner, Sweetie Abachi.
Well, from the blue corner, let's wrap up on the AM show. Time now for the news review. Stick with us. There's a lot coming your way.